Hey, pool chasers. So, Pentair has come out with a few new items during the pandemic that we are going to highlight in today's episode. You may have heard the ad read last week, but today you're going to get the full episode on the Pentair Home and Pro app, as well as the all-new IntelliSync. Our guest did a great job giving a detailed overview of each product and even shared the simple installation process for the IntelliSync. It's always a good thing to see new products come to the market that can be solutions for an existing problem. And based on our conversation, we think Pentair has two great products here. So please enjoy episode 130 with Rodney McCall and Adam Key of Pentair.
Welcome to your go-to podcast for the pool and spa industry. My name is Tyler Rasmussen.
And my name is Greg Villafania. And this is the Pool Chasers Podcast.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself and your role at Pentair?
Hey, Greg, thanks. And thanks to both of you for having us on the show today. I'm Rodney McCall, the IoT product manager for Pentair. I've been with Pentair now for 17 years and also have with me Adam, and been working with Adam on these IoT products.
Hi, so my name is Adam Key, and I'm one of our engineering managers here at Pentair. I've been with the company now for a little over 10 years. So glad to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's start with the Home app. Can you tell the listeners about it that might not know as much? We know that all these things are, products that kind of came out during the pandemic. So this is a good time to share what these things are.
Sure. So the Pentair Home app allows you to monitor and connect to a wide range of smart connected water management products for your home and your pool in one place at any time, wherever you are. So if something is wrong, it gives you system alerts, and you can choose how you receive those alerts. So the customer can choose to receive texts or emails or just phone notifications. So homeowners that don't want to worry about anything, we also have the Pro app for professionals, and the customer can choose a service provider that offers remote monitoring, and they can get their water products monitored by a pro. So, Greg, this isn't just the pool stuff. There are products from our water filtration division and our flow division included in the Pentair Home app. For instance, we have a connected water softener valve, in-home leak detection, a constant pressure pump, which regulates the water pressure in your home. Like if somebody flushes the toilet, you don't all of a sudden have a trickle of water in the shower. So it just constantly gives you a water pressure. There's also a smart sump pump controller and even a battery backup sump pump. The app lets you know that the sump pump is running, which really gives you peace of mind. My mom, for instance, is always concerned when she gets a lot of rain and is always looking out the window to make sure that the water is running out of the pipe from the sump pump. So she didn't have to do that anymore. The app will tell you that the sump pump is doing its thing and your crawl space or your basement's not going to flood. So in pool, we have several products to control your pool system and water chemistry to make sure your pool is always ready to swim.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing. It's funny because those are some of the products that, I've seen in like even the Apple store. If you guys ever go to the Apple store, they're trying to come out with different things that have sensors that you can put on, like on your faucet to detect leaks and things like that. But I really like this because this has such a wide range. It's not just one thing, and there's one app that can control kind of all these different things that you have going on instead of bouncing from one app to another. It's nice that you can be notified and you can kind of manage and control things in one app. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, Pentair is all about water. So all of these water products that we have that make sense to be connected, we're getting them connected.
Right. So what is Pentair's vision of the Home app when it comes to whole home water management?
From the pool side, we really wanted to help simplify pool ownership and give customers and pool owners easy, convenient access to pool control and make it easy to do scheduling, monitoring, and offer diagnostics to help the homeowner with water quality. As I mentioned, some of the products are about giving a customer peace of mind that the sump pump is running. And even if the power goes out, the battery backup system that we have in the Pentair Home app will work. Some of the products like the water softener and the pool products like IntelliConnect and IntelliSync, for that matter, they help the customer and the pro, the service guy, monitor the system to know when maintenance or a salt delivery needs to take place. And it gives them alerts. So that Pentair Pro and Pentair Home puts all of that in one place, everything water in one app.
That's awesome. And do you deliver the salt, Rodney? As a notification comes up, are you the guy that comes and brings the salt?
I've put a lot of miles on my car. I'm busier than Domino's pizza guy.
That's funny. So tell us how the Pro app works alongside the Home app.
So during the sign-up process, when the homeowner is provisioning the product, they are asked if they would like remote monitoring for that particular product. Since we have products from Pool and we have products from our Flow division, those might be separate professionals. Then they can choose from a list of dealers and service companies that offer remote monitoring for that particular product. Once they choose a dealer, the dealer will receive an email that a customer has requested remote monitoring, and they can accept or deny that. And there is a Find a Pro feature, which will populate with the installer's contact information and the monitoring dealer's info if the customer chose one. So that creates some convenience and helps ensure that the customer calls the installer if they need anything, and some stickiness, right? Build a little bit better relationship with that customer. You're right inside their phone.
Right.
This also provides somewhat of a marketplace for pool professionals. So let's say a pool owner happened to have installed one of these products themselves, and down the road they're having an issue with it. Through this app, they can be put in contact with local professionals that could provide them assistance and make that connection that otherwise wasn't there before.
Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. So it can connect them through the app with a pool professional or somebody that can come take care of the issue for them.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool.
And what does the monitoring system look like for pool professionals?
So the Pentair Pro app actually, this is a really cool feature. It actually maps out all of the customers for the dealer that they are monitoring. And we call that mapping part of the app, the Pro Fleet view. And it color codes the homeowner's location on the map for the level of issues that those customers might be experiencing. For instance, there would be a yellow dot for low concern issues and a red dot for a more critical issue. So at a glance, with the Pro Fleet view, that pro can go in and see on a map exactly where some of the critical issues of the customers that he's monitoring might be. On the consumer side, the consumer can also click on the phone number of the monitoring dealer through the app if they wish to schedule a service call. If you become a monitoring dealer, you'll also receive a notification via text or email when there is an issue at one of the pools that you're monitoring. Then you can open the Pro app from that notification and click on the issue and remotely log in to that homeowner's system and see whatever the homeowner is seeing without even being in the backyard. I think this could, this feature alone could bring a whole new level of service that pool service and pool care companies could provide to their consumers or to their customers.
Wow. Are the ones that are in good standing green then? So if you pull up a map, and are they green or what?
So yeah, exactly. So if everything's cool at that customer's house, you get a little green dot, yellow dot for a little, maybe they need the salt level is low or something like that. But if there's a problem where the pump went through and never primed, then you get a red dot.
Man, that would make it pretty sweet from a pool professional side. If you're monitoring, let's say 30 accounts at one time, you can see the green dots, yellow and red, and then be able to kind of coordinate that from your desktop and kind of send out technicians in the field, if you have somebody that's close to that location and there's a red dot, you could have them stop by real quick. That seems like it's really cool for that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, that's a really cool feature you guys added. So we're familiar with the Pentair automation like Easy Touch, IntelliTouch, and IntelliCenter, but it seems like this is kind of taking it to a whole nother level.
Our automation systems like Easy Touch with Screen Logic and IntelliCenter are built mainly around control of pools, and IntelliCenter is almost limitless in what you can control. Multiple pumps, valves with pool and spa combos and waterfalls. But our IoT products like IntelliConnect and our newly released IntelliSync are for the smaller, simpler pools and are great, affordable retrofit opportunities for the single body of water and very inexpensive. I think the difference and where our products are headed is that the Pentair Home app goes a step further than control, and it brings in diagnostics and data and notifies the customer or professional when something goes wrong. And I think that's new in the industry. This diagnostics piece, is really exciting. And I think your listeners have some opportunity here. My little catchphrase that I use for diagnostics is know before you go. And what I mean by that is the Pro app allows dealers and service guys to monitor their customers' pools and know what the issue is before they go out to the job site. So a service guy, for example, gets a notification on Monday that the Jones pool is low on salt. They can easily respond to that customer through the app that they'll throw a bag of salt in the pool when they're on Wednesday, when they service the pool, just kind of, the example that you brought up.
Because there's so many applications that we have to have on our phones and our, iPads and all these different things. Say somebody did not want to download this app, but they did want the notifications that, the salt is low or any one of these things is happening. Is there a way that it could be set up on the other end where you just get, say, a text message or an email or something like that? Because it can be difficult, especially when you're testing something out. Say you just have one customer. Maybe you'd like to have everybody on one of those systems, but say you just have one or, just a handful of people that have it, and it's not worth downloading another app to take up that space on your phone. But is there something like that in place?
I would say that if you want the notifications, you do need to have the app on your phone, but you can choose what notifications you get. So you don't have to receive text messages from, as your alert from your customers. You could just say, hey, I only want to receive emails. I don't want to be bothered during the day with text messages. And I can or you can have somebody at your office receive the text and then maybe give them out to the field by looking at, okay, I can see where all the customers are. And I know Joe is in this part of our service territory, so I'm going to get him to handle the Jones swimming pool. So to answer your question, you do, I haven't really thought about it that way, but I think you do have to have the app on your phone to receive the notifications. Adam, do you?
From a consumer standpoint, you would have to do that. From the pool professional standpoint, using the Pro app, and they could use the web app. They don't ever have to use the mobile app on their phone. They could do everything from their computer with the web application as well.
Yeah. So I think that's good, right? Because you have your office manager, because you wouldn't necessarily want the whole team to have the app and access. But if the office manager, gets a notification that something is low, they can then communicate with the technicians in the field that are visiting those pools that, hey, just got notified this is low. Make sure to stock up the truck with X amount of this and make it happen. So yeah, I like that. That's cool.
So Greg, along that line of thinking, we do have different levels in the app of control. So in other words, you can have an admin that is your main source, and then you can give the app to your service guys, and they don't have the full admin rights, but they can see the customers' accounts and they can log in and monitor their particular customers.
Man,
So there is some separation there.
that's cool. But you trying to kill us? Can't give the techs one more app to handle. Barely. We could take this out, but they could barely use what giving them right now.
Well, I think this is designed to kind of get rid of that problem, right? Is to hopefully at some point the Pentair Home app includes everything, right? Instead of us having to have multiple Pentair apps.
Everything in one place, everything in one app, and that will be that. It's not. Yeah, it will be the future.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that you guys are thinking that way. I mean, that helps for sure. Hopefully one day we'll see it all within one. Pentair has a plan to keep your pool sparkling clean. To do that, they recommend using 3 layers for optimal sanitization. Layer 1. Help kill the germs in the water by adding chlorine or a salt system. Layer 2. Neutralize the germs with UV light, because the UV light plus salt or chlorine neutralizes harmful bacteria. And layer 3. Automate your system with a water chemistry controller to monitor and adjust pH and sanitizer levels automatically. So to recap, layer 1, chlorine or salt. Layer 2, UV light. Layer 3, manage with automation. All 3 layers equal a happy, clean pool. To learn more on what Pentair has to offer, visit Pentair.com or click the link below. Primate Pool Tools are the creators of the first carbon fiber poles in the industry. They use aerospace-grade carbon fiber that makes them 5 times stronger than aluminum, which allows you to cut through water with ease. They have options for residential and commercial service and offer 3 models of poles as well as an extension system that can extend your reach up to 40 feet. Not only that, but they are made here in the USA, come with a 1-year commercial warranty, and you get access to their top-notch customer service. Primate is excited to announce that they will be releasing custom Primate poles. Stand out from the crowd by grabbing a limited edition pole with original art designed by the Primate team. They're coming soon to Primate web store at primatepooltools.net. And when you place your order, don't forget to use PoolChasers10 at checkout for $10 off. To find out more, check out episode 104 of the podcast or click the link below.
Will that tie in like irrigation and everything like that too? Like sprinklers and different things like that? Will that be in it as well? Do you see that in the future? I'm just thinking of like things that have to do with water, indoor, outdoor. I'm assuming that's what the Home app is like striving for.
Yeah. If you wanted to measure the amount of water that your sprinkler system is using, the water softener valve that is connected, it does, if my recollection is correct, it does measure the gallons of water that are being used. And I think they use that information to know when you may need salt, how much that particular house is using in water and that kind of thing. So you could do some monitoring for if your irrigation system is coming on or when it turns on, you can monitor the water use during that period of time.
Very cool.
So on the pool side of things, what else is it monitoring?
So for IntelliSync, some examples would be like maybe the pump didn't prime, maybe the unit went into freeze protection mode, or maybe the IntelliFlow is not communicating because the landscaper used his weed eater and sliced through the communication cable.
That sounds
those
very
kind of
specific
things,
example.
which happens. So it lets the customer know, hey, communication was lost to your IntelliFlow. So for IntelliConnect, which controls IntelliChlor and iChlor, it may tell the homeowner or pool pro that the system has low flow because the IntelliChlor or iChlor flow switch is not tripping. Those are some of the things.
Something else that I think provides a unique opportunity is, we know people always like to poke around and press buttons and do things that they maybe shouldn't always be doing. So let's say a pool owner accidentally, or maybe even intentionally, modified their pump schedule or changed the speed at which their pump was set to run at. Thus, now they're having an issue with their pool turning green or cloudy water or something's going on. Because of the monitoring, a pro would be able to log in and see these pump settings. So they might be able to diagnose what the root cause of a customer's complaint is without even having to go on site, just based on what they can see in the app.
Yeah, we had a customer that really liked to get rid of spa schedules, even though they only had one system that ran both the pool and spa, and they were separate bodies of water. And it needed to like move an actuator from side to side, but the schedule was the only thing that would allow it to do that through automation, and he would just always get rid of that. So that was super annoying because the spa would turn green because you just cancel the schedule. So that would be cool in that situation to have something be able to tell you like the customer canceled the schedule, or a way to communicate to them, more than just an email or a phone call. Or if they just like ignoring you, then you just can keep fixing it for them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. So you mentioned the IntelliConnect and IntelliSync, but you also mentioned water quality. So do you have a product besides IntelliCam that's monitoring water quality on the Pentair Home app?
We do. We are introducing a new product called ChemCheck, which will help customers with their water quality by checking the ORP level. And for people who don't know what ORP is, oxidation reduction potential is the big word, but it's really just a measurement of the effectiveness of the sanitizer, whether that be chlorine or bromine. It doesn't measure the amount of chlorine, but it measures how effective the amount that is in the pool is at oxidizing contaminants and algae. It also measures pH and water temperature. And we graph all of that information for the customer. And there's also a section for manual water tests and management of the other important parameters like free chlorine, total alkalinity, calcium hardness, cyanuric acid. And all of those parameters are also graphed. So the customer can see where their calcium hardness was or alkalinity was over a period of time. I think that's going to be very helpful for customers to understand more about their swimming pools and their water quality and even just the balanced chemicals. They're going to add calcium hardness and they're going to see an increase in the calcium hardness the next time they test their water. So I think hopefully it just helps customers understand their pool a little bit better.
So when you say manual, you mean like they're measuring it and then inputting it themselves, and that will keep a graph of, let's say you did it each week. So you measured the chemicals, you added what they were, and it'll graph that each time.
Exactly. And so in the app, we ask them to choose when they do a water test. We ask them to choose if that was a test, water test that they took to a pool store, or was it a test strip, or was it just a test kit? We want to, speaking of the data, we really want to figure out and look at, okay, was the test strip that they used at home much different than the water test that they did at the pool store? So we're collecting that information to try to help the customers out.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors that go into that. So that's a cool feature to have, which way you measured the water. So very cool.
Yeah. Yep. We keep a history of that too.
Oh, nice.
So you can see, okay, looking back at the history, here's where I took it to the store. So they can look back, all right, when was the last time I was at the store buying chemicals? So I think that'll be kind of helpful too.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you envision will be on the Home app in the future?
Well, we're constantly innovating, and we have several other new products and even some of our older products that will be moving to the Pentair Home app. One thing to mention here, I do want to bring this up concerning IntelliConnect, because right now we're on Link 2.0. We have migrated some users over to the Pentair Home app. But I want the listeners to know IntelliConnect owners will soon start to get an email telling them that they can migrate their device from Link 2.0 to Pentair Home. We want to do this in a controlled fashion so our tech service can manage any calls customers might have, and we have, that customer has a good experience. And we don't want to just migrate everybody at the same time to Pentair Home. So we will let the customer know when it's time for them to migrate. And then IntelliSync was launched directly on Pentair Home. ChemCheck will also be on Pentair Home. And as I mentioned, we've got other products that will be moving over.
Great information. Thank you. So can you tell us more about the IntelliSync?
Sure. The IntelliSync control and monitoring system works with IntelliFlow via that RS-485 communication cable, which comes with every IntelliFlow that you buy, and the SuperFlow VS with its cable. But it does not, the IntelliSync does not include either one of those communication cables because we are not sure what pump you're going to be connecting it to. So you will have to purchase the communication cable for the pump separately. If it's an IntelliFlow, of course, like I mentioned, it comes with it. And it does have an air temp sensor and a water temp sensor kit, same ones that we use in our automation system. To power the IntelliSync, it comes with a 21-foot long 120 volt AC to 12 volt DC power adapter, which plugs into a 120 volt electrical outlet. If they have an IntelliFlow, they can monitor the power and the speed of the pump remotely to know that it's running, or they can adjust the schedule or run their pump using a short countdown timer for cleanup after a storm. As I mentioned, it does include an air temp sensor, and we use that for freeze protection.
So as Rodney mentioned before, it also includes a water temperature sensor. In talking to pool owners, we found that people want to know the temperature of their water. So with this, they no longer have to go to the pool, get their hand wet. They can get rid of that rubber ducky thermometer or get rid of the one that's tied to their ladder, and they can read their water temperature from their app no matter where they're at.
Very cool. And what does the installation process look like for the IntelliSync?
Yeah, it's really pretty easy. First thing to do is plug the 12 volt end of the cord into the IntelliSync. Then plug the other end to a 120 volt outlet. Next, download the Pentair Home app. After they sign in, they'll choose add a device. They'll choose IntelliSync, and the app will tell the customer to press and hold the mode button, which is on the IntelliSync itself. And that will put the IntelliSync into Bluetooth pairing mode. The IntelliSync will then connect to their phone via Bluetooth, and the app will display the local available networks, the homeowner's router. They'll choose that and then enter the router's password, and then it connects. It really is a super simple process. The Bluetooth pairing process has really simplified getting the product connected. If the signal is good or it's not good, the size of the IntelliSync makes it easy to move around. It's Adam, I think it's probably 8 inches by
5 inches or so.
5 inches. So as I mentioned, it comes with a 21-foot long power supply. And if you're connecting it to an IntelliFlow, that cable is 50 feet long. SuperFlow VS cable is 25 feet long. So it offers a lot of flexibility with where it can be mounted, and its size is it's not very large, and you're not connecting it to conduit, so you can move it around and make sure you've got a good signal before you mount the device. And then you mount the device, and it's the next step is installing the air and water temp sensors. Same temp sensors that we use on our automation systems, as I mentioned. For the water temp sensor, you have to drill a 3/8 inch hole into the pipe between the pump and the filter, and that's about it for the install.
Since this plugs into an existing outlet on the pool pad, it only involves communication cables. There's really no need for a licensed electrician to install this IntelliSync. And we think that adds a lot of value by not needing that.
Right. Yeah. And I think that this is a really cool product because, we used to get a ton of calls where people would pick our brains on different things. And maybe there's customers out there that just want to do it themselves. And this is, gives you an opportunity to be that person to say that, okay, you don't want to do maybe an IntelliCenter or something like that, but you can do this and you can do it yourself. There's really easy directions, and you can give them a link to, purchasing it online, or you can bring it to them. But, we never wanted to say no to anybody. If you have the opportunity to give somebody an option, that's a great way of doing it.
We had the opportunity to go install one down here at the Tempe Center, and it was pretty simple. So thanks for letting us work on that. It felt pretty special since nobody had really seen it much. And they're like, "Oh, can we come watch?" And so had a couple of the Pentair team watching and helping out, and kind of one of the first to install it down there. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it was super simple process. And I think it really does give you an option for those, single body water pools. And if a homeowner doesn't have the budget for the larger automation panels, like, this is a cool option to really have. And one thing I'll say about the water kind of temp sensor is what we've learned, and to explain to the homeowner, is that you want to let it run for about 5 minutes to get like the real accurate water temps. Because in here in Arizona, our pipes are sitting in 100-degree weather. If you turn it on and look at it right away, it's going to be hotter than it probably actually is. So just let it cool down while it's running and wait a few minutes to read that temperature. But yeah, that's a really cool feature as well, because a lot of people don't want to go out to the pool and check the water temp, and the freeze protection's awesome for everybody up northeast. So really cool options there.
Tyler, I was on a job site in Arizona, and I saw something for the first time, and it probably has something to do with the heat, but we were installing actually wasn't a temp sensor. It was for our chem check, where you plumb a inlet line to let water flow through the chem check. And my thought is you just drill from the top of the pipe down, but this install in Arizona, they drilled from not exactly the bottom of the pipe, but about, I'd say, 5 o'clock. If you're looking at the pipe, kind of up from the bottom of the pipe on the side of the pipe where it's not getting direct sunlight.
Yeah.
And, and I think that's probably an Arizona thing, just because of, you want to keep pipes and things out of the sun. So that was the first time I'd ever seen that.
Yeah, that's a cool trick. I'm sure that's a Sunbelt thing with all the hot UV, especially with your like IntelliChems or things like that have those hoses. Yeah, if you can protect them from the sun, you'll probably save them from getting brittle and give them a little bit longer life. But I've actually never heard of that either, but that person seems really smart. So that's a good trick.
Well, he was one of our Pentair guys
Nice.
who'd been doing this forever. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Sounds like he knows the market for sure.
Yeah.
So what type of systems was the IntelliSync designed to run?
Kind of as we talked about, single body of water pools. It'll run an IntelliFlow and SuperFlow VS pump. It doesn't have any relays, so it won't do a single speed pump. It does not have valve actuator control, so we want to stay away from pool and spa combos. But it is a quick, easy retrofit for that single body of water, for that customer that just wants that peace of mind to know that their pump is running. And in the app, for the pool professional, it creates that opportunity to tie your service business closer to the customer. I think it's going to create new service opportunities with the monitoring opportunity there.
Very cool. So if you're out in the backyard and you don't have the app controls, is there a button on the system itself that you can put it in service or timeout mode?
So it does have a button, and it's a mode button to switch between auto mode, which would be the normal mode it would run in, and then service mode and timeout mode. So there is all of our automation, I would say all of our automation has the ability to place a unit into service mode so that you can operate the pump. One note that I didn't bring up is this unit, very much like our automation systems, places the pump in that display not active mode when it's controlling an IntelliFlow. So you'll know if it's communicating because the IntelliFlow dashboard will say display not active.
So if you press the mode button and it goes into timeout or service, it would take away that display not only mode, and you could then control the pump from the pump itself.
Exactly. It going into service mode, all of our automation systems place that. We just pretty much stop communicating with the pump, and display not active goes away.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, that's important if you want to work on the system. So it's cool you guys have that feature. And what type of warranty that comes with the IntelliSync.
Just like a lot of our products, it does come with a 1-year warranty if you just buy the IntelliSync, and then a 3-year warranty if you buy it in a bundle with our other bundle type products. IntelliBright is one of those bundle type products. IntelliFlow would be another one of those bundle products.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to everything you guys are rolling out here in the Home app and the Pro app, and we're excited to see what that holds. So really appreciate you both taking your time out of your days and sharing this information with us.
Well, thanks, Tyler. We love the Pool Chasers, man. We appreciate you guys taking the time to talk about new products and introduce them to the field. I think it's a great venue for guys to learn. And I was recently talking to a guy on the phone, and when he is going from job site to job site, he listens to the Pool Chasers. And, I think it's a great way to educate the industry. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Adam.
Yep. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Hey, Pool Chasers. Thanks for checking out this episode. Did you know that each episode has its own page on our website? This is where you can find more information about the guest and episode topic, as well as all the resources that we discuss throughout the show. To get to the webpage, click the link below. Also below, you will find links to the sponsors of the show, as well as links to follow us on our social media channels. On our channels, you will find some of our favorite clips and bonus material. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Our tag is Pool Chasers. We also have a Facebook group for the Pool Chasers community. Here you will find like-minded professionals all looking to make each other better. One last thing. If the episode has brought you value, please check out our Patreon page to support us. And if you could please rate and review the podcast, we would love to hear what your favorite topics are. Thank you for your time and your ear.
See you out there, Pool Chasers.